Is there a universe outside of Bravo?
Did we miss the training manual to our 30s?
No. Are they for real?
Thank God for our girlfriends. Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Structured Chaos with Kelly and Kyra. We hope that you guys had a great week and that you're ready to laugh about how none of us have it figured out.
Hello. It feels like we were just here.
Mm-hmm.
The last week felt simultaneously so short and so long.
How is it
All at
Monday
once.
already?
I don't know. I
Again.
really don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe because we did record midweek
Mm.
for some special extra episodes that'll be coming your way.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. That have no
but-
reality TV in them.
I know. So if you hate reality TV, but you're still supporting and listening to us, props to you.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a reward coming your way soon. But with that being said, how did your week and weekend go?
My week and weekend were really good. A lot of Christmas decorating. And it's so funny because like people are like, oh my gosh, like, are you still like doing Christmas stuff? I'm like, yes. So Wednesday night we started at the salon that I work at. Me and the owner, we decorate every year for Christmas. We're like little salon elves and I love it. And it's so much fun, but it's like a lot of work. And because it's like, we don't just like put up a tree and like call it a day. Like it's like, no. Like it is, we have 4 trees, all various sizes. You know, we have these like huge lofted ceilings with like these exposed beams. So we like decorate those too and like all the stations. So just like set up alone 2 people. I think we were there for like 7 hours on Wednesday. And then I finished most of the trees and everything by Saturday. And then I came home and started my tree. It's like the fluffing. Like I am also a perfectionist and very anal about things like that. So, I mean, fluffing a tree in and itself takes over an hour. That's just that part.
Right.
So
well, that's what makes Christmas so magical. It's not going to be magical if it's like wonky and lopsided.
God, speaking of lopsided, my tree, like I walked down my hallway and like my tree is for sure leaning, like just the top part. So I have to like figure out how I'm going to fix that. Like, I don't know if it needs like a zip tie or something. I don't even know how to do that, but I'm going to YouTube it or something. It's just like the top portion is like looser and like leaning forward. And like you can't tell unless you're like looking at it from one angle, but it's bothering me. But my
now that you know.
Exactly.
You have to fix it, yeah.
And like, it just like looks so magical here and then at work. And so like, I love that. But yeah, that's like literally all I've been doing is Christmas stuff.
It's that time of year. I can't believe it. It's, I just can't believe it's the end of, like, it's the latter half of November already.
A whole year has gone by.
I know. I feel like so old. Like, I remember when I was younger and would hear older people being like,
please stop.
Another year has gone by. And it's like, no, really, though. It's, the years go by faster the older you get. It's very weird.
But you want to know what I will say? I feel very accomplished for this year.
That's good.
Very accomplished.
That is good. Yeah, I feel that. Like every year, I feel like I'm doing more, which is not always the best. But I mean, like, I think I'm accomplishing more. But I feel like for me personally, next year, my accomplishment will be doing less, in a sense. You know.
As someone who fully supports what you want to do, I don't see it happening. And I'd really like to. But something tells me you might actually be more busy.
Okay, well, thinking about the fact that yesterday I was like, oh, I should go back to school. You should not support me doing what I want to do because
you're going to go back to school.
You're going to regret that real quick. As my business partner, you're going to regret it. So don't support what I want to do.
This is a non-supportive podcast.
Because as someone, I have a master's degree, so the next step for me would be a PhD. So,
and my friend's boyfriend just finished his, and what a journey it was. And it was so funny because I was actually with them at Friendsgiving last week, and then he like officially finished. Like he finished, I don't know, back in May, but like the paper and the getting like all that stuff. And I mean, gosh, it was years. I mean, it was during like COVID, I feel like. I think it was like was when he started.
Yeah, it's usually like, I mean, it obviously varies, but I mean, like a 5 to 7 years, depending. I mean, I used to, before my current position, I was a advisor for PhD students. I mean, like part of the student population I advised was PhD students for 8 years. So yeah, I'm very familiar. And they were all math and engineering students, both at my current institution and Stanford. So very, very smart ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, advisor.
I will not be getting a PhD in math or engineering,
but she can advise you through it.
Exactly. I've got all the steps. I could talk about them all day long, but I could get a PhD in advising in a STEM major. Anyways, so yeah, well, that sounds like a fun week.
Yeah. How was yours?
Mine was kind of heavy, lots of work, very busy. It's a busy time of the school year, so lots of things going on, and just lots of stuff that comes with that. And I'm trying to think this weekend I didn't really have a lot of like plans, which was good. I hung out with my family a little bit. We had some family from out of town that was here that me and my mom went to see, so that was nice. And yesterday I just hung out, watched football, and did some stuff around the house. They're doing good.
Okay, Russell Wilson doing his thing.
So yeah, I just relaxed. I mean, I wouldn't say I relaxed because I was watching football, but then, so the thing that made me feel like an adult this week, I was doing that during the football game. I was up and around doing stuff around the house. So
she's a multitasker.
I am. I can't sit still. So it was a productive weekend, which was nice. And I have a busy week ahead, but it is what it is. So
I'm going to head to LA tomorrow night for, a little bit of fun. And then we have like a fun night on Wednesday. I have those two things to look forward to this week.
I know. That's on what I have to look forward to.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't on yours, but it's fine.
That's okay. Sips coffee.
Sips tea. Okay, so what was in the news this week? We had some juice. It was playing up last week.
I mean, I said last week I didn't really care about Teddy and Edwin splitting, which truthfully I still don't. However, it did come out that she was having like a month-long affair with her horse trainer, which like, if you don't know the story, then like if you're just hearing that, you're like, okay, unfortunate, but at least she's getting divorced. No, the gross fucking part about it is that this man was on vacation with Teddy while in another state while his wife was giving birth.
Yeah, it's very, very ick. And
that's like the lowest of lows. I'm sorry. Ugh.
An affair in general, ick. I've heard like, I don't know if it was just her horse trainer or also her daughter's horse trainer or both, or I don't know. It's all around very icky. The story about the wife giving birth, definitely just the lowest of the low. I heard on another podcast, I can't remember which one, I think it was maybe Heather McDonald's podcast, because that's one I listen to every week, that there was some type of, like, his wife found out and there was some type of altercation. I want to say like a verbal altercation in public, maybe with Teddy. Allegedly, I could be telling this totally wrong. And you know what's funny is I used to get like really annoyed listening to podcasts. Like, no, that's not what happened. Like, if you're gonna tell it on a podcast, like, get it straight. And now I'm just like this is a news podcast now. So
yes,
factually, but and so then she like had to tell her husband Edwin because like it was out in public, so people saw. But there were some. After it came out, you know, she announced the divorce and then the affair came out. There was like some pictures of her and Edwin like saying goodbye to each other as she like moved out of her house. So I have those for the carousel this week. They were like hugging and like, oh yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, like people who have like athletes who have like played in the Super Bowl have like literally like left and like gone if their wife is like in labor. Or like one guy, I think it was Rudy Gobert. Was it him? Was it Rudy Gobert? I think last year left like didn't go to a playoff game because his wife was in labor. And you're on fucking vacation with your mistress? Ugh.
It's gross. I mean, that's all there is to it.
I hope you have to pay her $1 million a month.
I think we're just going to say $1 million. I'm like, that's literally nothing.
No, okay. A month.
Yeah.
And if I could get it down to a week, I would.
And I haven't seen a picture of him, but I heard.
I think I did. I
heard that he like wasn't what people were expecting.
Yeah, he just, looked like a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, anyways, Teddy was already like a pick me that people didn't want to pick. So
went for the one that picked her.
Yeah. And then Erin from New York announced that she's pregnant, and that happened. There's always something that comes out right after we record.
Of course. Always.
So that came out like a week ago now, but she announced that she's pregnant with her fourth, I guess. So cool. Congrats. Yay. All right. That's it.
Let's get on into it. So it was really funny because me and Kelly actually we went to go watch our shows basically on the same day, I feel like, this week. And she was like, and I had like, I think I was like in the middle of watching the challenge, and she was like, I can't watch the challenge. And I was like,
oh, maybe that's why.
Maybe.
A realization is hitting. Okay, so I use Kyra's login, her cable login, to watch the challenge because it used to like, this is a struggle. I don't have like regular cable. And then now it's only on like the Cox website, which is something else, but whatever. It doesn't matter. I use Kyra's cable login and I've always been able to use it. But this week when I went to use it, it said you have to be on your home Wi-Fi. I bet you that's why. Because if you were watching it at the same time.
But I was watching it recorded.
I know, but when I log into yours, it shows me if something's been recorded or what it says. So I bet that's why. I was like, oh my, they're really making this show like obsolete. Like I can't. It's going to be its own streaming network at this point. Like not even MTV, it's going to be the Challenge streaming network. And so then I was like, well, I'm going to have to buy the episode. You can buy it on Amazon Prime. It's like $2.99 or $1.99, I think. And so I was like, well, I'll buy it this week. It's $2. Of course, I'm dedicated to the podcast. I am a businesswoman. I'm very professional. I would never show up without having watched the episode unless something, happened like that I really couldn't. And so whatever. So I was like, okay, I'll just try again tomorrow. Just before I bought it, I went on again and it let me. And now
maybe that is why. But it was just so funny because I was like, of course, like this was like one of like, I feel their better episodes. Like I felt like there was like lots of just like things happening.
There was a lot.
And so I'm like, of course, this is the episode that you can't watch.
Yeah.
But she did.
I did.
So yeah, so I thought it was a great group challenge because clearly it did not matter how quick you finished because it was a level playing field. I mean, Michelle started 10 minutes later?
Just 1 minute.
Oh, okay. Felt like 10. And so they had to like create this pyramid out of like a string of, it looked like dodgeballs essentially, like the size of like dodgeballs. Which gosh, yeah, that is a confusing one because you had to make it like a solid pyramid using a round device.
Yeah.
So everyone was struggling. Go Tori. Oh no, go Cara Maria. I'm so sorry. I don't want to take that from her. Go Cara Maria because it was super important for her to win because her ass was definitely going in if not.
Yep. And I'm happy she won as well. They were running through the mud. They were doing the puzzle. They were all kinds of stuff. So, and since Cara Maria was a target, along with Olivia and Michelle, it just made it automatic that Olivia and Michelle were going in and they're besties. So, and then Jordan was the guy who won. So he didn't have to pick, any of the girls because it was automatic. So Olivia and Michelle were, crying the whole episode about going against each other because they're besties.
Which, like, that does suck because, like, you don't want to go into elimination with your best friend.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get that, but I'm just like, I feel like Michelle just like really doesn't want to be there. And it's every episode, I feel like she's...
Yeah, it's like every episode she does something good. So where she's like, oh, wait, you know what? I do want to be here. I have my mojo back. And then like a minute later, she forgets what she just did. And she's like, I don't want to be here.
Right. So... It's like she had Devin. And then like once Devin left, she's like, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't have Devin. And then she's like, oh, wait, I do have my best friend, Olivia. And then like the next week, it's like, like Olivia, I don't have Olivia anymore. And it's just like, okay, either like you want to be here for it's not like these people are dying. Like I understand it's sad and like it sucks and I understand it's hard. I'm not saying I would be able to do it, but it's just like this is not your first time. Mm-hmm. And it's a game and it's a job. And it's just like, come on. And I do understand like going against your best friend is hard, but I'm just saying like if you don't want to be there, then you should just stop saying that every week because it's annoying.
Right.
So go ahead.
But yeah, like during the episode, it was so funny because last week we spoke about how her and Josh kind of like got into it a little bit, going back and forth at elimination. But then this week, she's like, Michelle's about to cook with Derek. Derek's like going to show her something. And their kitchen setup, by the way, is very odd. They're at like a
they're like in an attic. I'm like, what is that movie that I used to watch it when I was little? It was like the princess, her dad like goes off to war and she's like in this little orphanage, and this just reminded
Annie?
me.
No, Annie's an orphan. No, wait.
Oh, I thought you said the nanny. I was like, no. It's like the princess something, and she's it is. It's an orphanage, but it's not Annie.
I got nothing.
Anyways, I'll find it and put it in the carousel maybe. And it probably has nothing to do with what I'm thinking of. And I don't know why I'm thinking of this. But it looked like they were in an attic.
It was so bizarre. Like everyone had to duck down just to cook. And like Michelle's not very tall. It was so weird. It was so weird. Yeah. But yeah, so like her and Josh like just are going at it again. And I do appreciate that she said, she was like, it is not like you're saying that I'm mad about something that I'm not mad about. Like, that's not what the point of this, like, what my feelings are. And, like, he just, like, didn't want to listen, of course. And then Johnny Bananas gets involved. And, of course, like, Johnny Bananas is going to get involved because it's, like, psychological at that point. And he's going to get in your head. And, like, he's doing stuff just to irk you. But it was just so funny because Derek's there, like, well, I'm just going to keep cooking. Like,
I know.
Are you almost done? Because I was going to, like, help you with this.
Yeah. She's like, just leave me alone. And I'm just, like, trying to get my cooking lesson.
Which, like, I feel her, too, where she's just like, just walk away. Like, just walk away. I'm not doing this right now. And Josh being fucking Josh is like, well, let's keep going.
Oh, God, he's so annoying. He's, like, besties with Banana Man now. He's like, I'm not going to let this ruin my friendship with Banana Man.
Like, and it's like, Josh, you did all that politicking just to become a target.
And Johnny doesn't care about you and never has and never will.
So we're going to see this week, because I would be very shocked if he comes in first in the group challenge. And if he doesn't come in first in the group challenge, he's going in 100%.
100%. So Olivia and Michelle's elimination, they had a physical aspect and then a puzzle. And Olivia was faster in the physical part. They had to build this ladder.
Killed it.
And of course, anytime she does anything, which I can relate to this, people reference Alaska. No matter what she's doing. So she gets to the top and they're like, she can see Alaska from there. And she's like, shut the fuck up. And it's like, what are you talking about? And then she, in her confessional,
I was going to say, but she also says stuff.
She feeds into it, which irritates me because the stuff that she says, and I don't know.
Like, I'm the only one from Alaska around here, okay? No, I'm the only one making Alaska cool.
No, if she was talking about Alaska, the stuff she says about Alaska, I feel like makes Alaska sound so bad. That's why it annoys me. I don't know if it's just what they use or if this is really all she says. She was like, I came from nothing and I just played with mud for fun.
Oh yeah.
It's okay. I mean, every little kid plays with dirt and whatever, but I'm like, what?
Enough.
It's just and that's why the whole we joke about how she said she knows how to row a boat because she's from Alaska. It's just you just make Alaska sound so stupid,
stereotypical of what people would like.
That's not what it is. Yes, people have boats there just like they do in every other place. I just don't understand. It's just annoying. She makes it sound
well, I think the difference is we don't go by boat or horses or go ice fishing to get places. You know what I mean? That's not our way of life. And I feel like that's what you grew up doing. You know what I mean? Rowing from place to place.
It's not
going on a horse to get to the grocery store.
A horse? No, we go by moose.
Oh, moose. Right. Sorry.
I'm just kidding, people. No.
Dog sledding, to get to school. That's your school bus. It's just a dog sled.
No. But that's what she makes it sound like. She's being dead serious. That's what she's making it sound like. And that's why it's
Kelly gets
it's very icky because it's just whatever. So anyways, she did really good in that, but then she lost because she sucks. So good thing I got to watch this episode because she went home.
She could not push. So they had to they got a bunch of letters and they had to make it into a phrase. Homegirl just couldn't do it. But I did feel bad for her because it did look at the end she was starting to get some momentum and figure
she was
something
probably
out.
Cheating. Which I mean, I get she was looking over, which I would
But yeah, she's gone.
Yeah.
And I would have liked to have seen her, keep going to see if her physicality came out more with Theo being gone and she realized she wasn't giving it her all, which is very true, But yeah. So
but that's the thing, so she is a good challenger in the sense that her first season she did make it to the final and the only reason she had to go home was because she broke her nose and I get that she is good at the physical challenges, at least
but to
I'm
be
not
a
saying she
sucks.
Yeah, you have to be good at everything and she's not. And I'm saying this, and I'm not just saying this because I don't like her. I would not be good on the challenge either. I'm not saying oh, you just suck. I wouldn't be good at it either. I'm just saying you're not good at it, and that just shows you're in elimination, and you had to do 2 and you failed. So bye. Go fucking row a boat and play with a mud pie. Maybe you're good at that. Probably not though. Maybe you should have spent more time making puzzles and less time playing with mud.
And that's
anyways
Kelly's 2 cents.
Moving right along.
So yet again, I will say this was the best episode we've had this season of New York.
You think?
In comparison to anything else? I didn't say it was great. I didn't say it was great.
I thought it was so lame.
Oh my God, I didn't mind it. So it starts off, Erin is at lunch with Rebecca. Cool. Then she goes to lunch with Jessel and Bryn, and she tells them that Rebecca is pregnant. She's married. And she's pregnant with another person's baby because her and her husband are in an open marriage / swingers, and they go to these parties, and she's pregnant. Her husband knows, and like whatever. And so then, of course,
I would just like to say at the lunch, Bryn is such a mean girl. Because just to like add this in, she like totally twists this thing that Jenna supposedly said about Jessel being basic, and they flash to what Jenna actually says, and Bryn like turns it into like, oh, I'm just trying to be funny, hee hee ha ha, but like she actually like hurts Jessel's feelings and is trying to ruin yet another one of Jenna's friendships with someone, and she's just like not nice. So like it's not funny. You're being not nice and like you're hurting people's feelings. And I think she is like in love with Jenna. Like I was going to say secretly, but it's really not that secret. And she like wants to ruin everyone else's relationships with her.
So I don't think she's in love with Jenna. I think she just like does it because it was funny because on Watch What Happens Live, Jeff Lewis was on. And so if you guys have never watched Watch What Happens Live, like Andy always gives like a jackal of the week, like someone who's like just like an asshole. And he was like, and so Jeff Lewis was like, I'm giving it to Bryn because this over sexualized like bit that she's doing is tired. And like, which like we've talked about and like, I totally agree with, like, I'm done. And like over sexualizing everything and like flirting with Jenna all the time. And he's like, it's very disrespectful to Jenna's relationship. Like if I were Jenna's partner, like I would not be down for you. Like stop doing that. And it's exactly what it is. Like, that's why I don't think she's in love with Jenna at all. She just like feels like she can like wants to be like, it's just like, we're done, Bryn. We're done with you. Like flirting with everything and everyone, like in any situation you're in, like, we get it. You're a flirt, you're a tease, you're single. Cool.
But I feel like there could be some deep down truth to it. I don't, because
she's probably just jealous. No, she's probably just like wants all of Jenna's things. So she's like, let me just like pretend like to be in love with Jenna. Oh my God, I would love that jewelry. I would love that bag. I would love access to that. Like, I feel like that's what it is more so than like actually like, oh, I could be with this person forever. If she didn't have the things, she wouldn't want to be with her.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like mean. But anyways, okay, back to the...
So then, like, of course, Jessel and Bryn, which, like, I get it because, like, that is, like, some juicy fucking gossip. Like, if I sat down to lunch with my friend and they were like, oh, this other girl in our group is pregnant by someone else's, like by another man, like, in her marriage, you know, I'd be like, oh, like, I'd have to tell someone, of course. So then they all go to play dodgeball, and which, like, no. First of all, I'm not playing dodgeball as an adult.
No.
As a kid, like, it was, I guess, cool. I think I played in elementary school, so like whatever, you don't care then. I'm not playing dodgeball as an adult.
No. I didn't want to play as a kid either.
Like, no, thank you. So they're all sitting there, and then they're talking about it, and Bryn is telling Sai and Uba and all the other girls, which, like, of course, again, it's like piping hot tea, you know, like, you got to say something. And so then Erin comes and she's like, oh, like, you told them? And she's like, yeah, you know, whatever. So now in walks Rebecca, and they're all like sitting there. And then does Bryn say something to Rebecca? Like alluding to something? I think
no,
one of
Jenna.
them. Okay. So Jenna says something to Rebecca, and then Erin and Rebecca get into it, and Rebecca's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, did you fucking tell them? And she was like, well, yeah. And she like gets up and storms off, and like that's like how it ends. And then you see her and Erin just start laughing, and they're like, that was good. So yet again, Erin is a prankster. And so I just love it because I love, like, Rebecca got some street cred for me because I think she's very like blah. And I think that she's a little bizarre about her like her world, but whatever. But I love that she was like willing to go along with this joke. So now we know, I'm assuming Erin is the one obviously pregnant, but she's saying that it's Rebecca because now we know in real time that Erin is pregnant. So there's just like this like whole little prank going on. So I did think that was good because that's like a juicy prank. You know what I mean? And it's also a good way to test like how tight-lipped people could be with your secrets.
Right. What I don't get is, okay, so they were all playing dodgeball.
Uh-huh.
So if Erin was pregnant at this time, that's, I mean, I wouldn't play dodgeball if I was pregnant.
Right.
I wouldn't play dodgeball even if I wasn't pregnant, but because they were like, oh my God, don't throw it at Rebecca, she's pregnant. But like they didn't, whatever. So I don't know when they filmed this, but if Erin was already, I think they filmed it in May because they were talking about how Jessel's birthday was in May. So yeah, I mean, she probably was pregnant already, but anyways, that seems interesting if she was playing dodgeball. But also, where did the whole abortion thing come in?
Oh, so I wanted to say, God, look at me just freaking making things up. Because did they not? Yeah,
I don't know, but I was thinking about that and I was like, well, I called it. I said it was a married person. Yep. But then I was like, they never once said anything about an abortion. So did we just make that up? And when I say we, I mean you, because I didn't, I said I never heard it.
I did.
And you were like, it was in the trailer. And I was like, oh, okay.
So that's on me. So this is me spreading misinformation.
I love that.
Yep. No one said anything about abortion. I made that up out of nowhere. What I also want to know is, so when they're at pickleball and Brynn is talking to the girls, she's
dodgeball.
Like, yep. She was like, she was like, no, I did some digging. She was like, it is true. And she was like, I called my people right away. So I have two theories. One, I do think that they probably are swingers, and like, so there probably is some truth to that, and that's why like it can be believable, or like her sources said, yeah. But also too, like, then do you have sources? Because it's not true. So
yeah, she said she used to work with Rebecca's husband. It's always weird to me when a new housewife is on that has young kids and a husband, and their families are not on the show at all. Because
I'm guessing it has to do with the Scientology aspect of it all.
But it's just weird to me that they even bring that housewife on. Because it's like, what's the point? I get if they have like grown kids, but it's like, so what's the point of even bringing that housewife on? Because she really brings nothing to the show.
We're only seeing half of you.
Yes, her personality brings nothing. They don't show her like at work. She has this huge business career, all this, but we don't see it. They don't show her at work.
She also gained my respect when she, her comeback. So Brynn is notoriously making fun of Rebecca Minkoff and, saying like, oh, like she had to leave to like, she had like some fashion awards and so she couldn't go. And she was like, oh, I didn't know Nordstrom's Rack gave out awards. And so Erin is telling Rebecca that, and Rebecca's like, I don't care. Like I built a $100 million company. Like I don't care.
And she shouldn't care. Yep. But I'm just saying, like they do make her look just boring on the show. I mean, I like
sure. Oh yeah. No, for sure they do. I mean, the show does nothing to like make me want to go out and get her things. But I liked her. I liked that she like wasn't bothered. She's like, I've been criticized my whole life. I don't care.
Yeah.
So, so we'll see the like follow up of that and the girls finding out that this is a prank. But yeah, it's overall still giving nothing.
Yeah. I'm still very bored. And the fact that they have to have a pregnancy prank is just like...
Yeah, you have fun with it. I think it's fun. Because that's a fun... Like, it's not like, oh, this person's pregnant. It's like a juicier, oh, this person's pregnant. I think that's funny. Like, I'm not saying I would, like, do it, but, like, it's not like a regular...
That's how I feel about it.
Yep. Okay, so Salt Lake, we pick up after Todd has said, if Lisa doesn't shape up, we're leaving. First and foremost, before we get into everything, I'm just so sad after this episode because in the blink of an eye, everything that you thought can change. and the perception that you once, had of something can instantly be taken away from you. And now I'm just like so sad. I mean, we've talked about every week how much we love Bronwyn and we love Todd, and like they're just so funny together and they love each other, and they're, they wouldn't like historically be the people that you would think are together, but they're just so in love. And quickly we are realizing that is surely doesn't seemingly seem to be the case.
No. I still love Bronwyn.
Mm-hmm.
But I do not care for Todd. Okay, so basically the episode starts, obviously Lisa and John do not leave. They stay. So we're now they're going to all have lunch as a group. And Lisa starts talking to Bronwyn.
First, hold on really quickly. Before she starts talking to Bronwyn, her husband says to her, I think you should take Bronwyn aside, have a private conversation with her. Do not have it in front of the whole group, because Lisa's complaint was that everyone wants to get involved. So John was like, take her aside. They sit down at lunch and she's like, we need to talk. It's just like...
Right. So, I mean, yeah, it wasn't the best to do it right there. But so yeah, I mean, I agree that she shouldn't have done it there. But even Bronwyn says in her confessional, she's like, it takes so long to get an apology out of Lisa that when you're about to get it, someone else is starting to air their grievance, which is not Lisa's fault. That someone else is starting to get involved. Like, because then Whitney's starting to get involved and she's starting to yell at her for something else. I'm not saying Lisa's right because Lisa is all over the place talking to different people about different things, and she's yelling at her and she's yelling at her. But Lisa started talking to Bronwyn. She did do it in a group setting, at a group thing. But she started talking to Bronwyn, and other people started interjecting.
However, she says, the reason that me and Bronwyn are having a problem is because she's friends with Whitney. No, Lisa, it's because you're a bad friend.
I don't think she said because she didn't say Whitney said.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. In her confessional, she sits down and she says she goes.
But she didn't say it at the lunch. That's what I'm saying. She didn't say it at the lunch. So Whitney should not have interjected in the conversation that she was having. Like, when she was saying it, Whitney should not have said anything. But then Whitney starts in, and so then obviously they all know Lisa. Lisa's going to, okay, well, now I'm fighting with you. That's just how she is. And I'm not saying it's right, because I don't think it's right. But it's like they all know that's what's going to happen. So it's then, of course, Bronwyn's like, okay, here we go. Which is like, I get it. Like, I would be irritated too. But it's like, shut up, Whitney. And everyone, just shut up.
But I also too, like, agreed. However, it's like, Lisa, just stop fighting. Like, she doesn't even know how to have a conversation. Like, you literally are on thin ice. Someone just said to you, you're going to go home if you keep fighting with everyone. And then the first opportunity you get, you start fighting with people. Because when Whitney interjected, you could have very easily looked at her and said, this is not the time, Whitney. We will address it, but I'm not doing that right now. I'm here to give Bronwyn an apology. That's what an adult does. But no, because Lisa is so fucking out of tune with everything, and she's so self-centered that she just right at the next person. And
but I mean, she didn't get sent home, so bye, Todd. Goodbye, Todd.
Goodbye, Kyle.
So anyways, they are fighting, and it's just everyone's fighting, and then Seth is like, does anyone else's urine smell after they eat asparagus? And it's just like,
it did break the ice. It did break the ice. Like, the tension in the room was gone. So now we're at their anniversary dinner, and this is when things take a turn. This is when we start realizing Todd ain't who we thought he was.
Right. So I have multiple questions. What were they told was the attire? Because everyone's all over the place. Everyone looks great, but it's just no one's on the same.
We're not cohesive at all.
No, when Lisa's walking up, she's like, am I underdressed? Which, yes, she was, but also it seems she was probably not informed of what the attire was, because she usually would meet that. Seth Marks is wearing a baseball cap that says Brooke Marks. Bronwyn is wearing a $4 million necklace. Stunning. Love it. Stunning. Anyways, so that was one thing. I'm really glad they addressed the sign, because I was like, what does this sign say? It was like their initials. Very strange. The friends. Anyways, so they had these other friends that were not part of the show that were there, and they start playing this game at dinner.
A newlyweds game.
The newlyweds game, which love it. Used to watch Game Show Network all the time.
I just love Angie, though, because Angie just comes out and she's like, so guys, I brought a game. She's like, we're going to have fun.
Right. And Bronwyn goes, I told her to bring it. So then why didn't you tell her you were going to have other friends there?
Right.
So then Angie's like, I didn't know there was going to be other people here. So that was awkward. So these other people are just at the table not playing because there's not enough
boards. Yep.
So they start playing this game, and for people who don't know, it's a game about like how well you know your spouse, basically. And so, of course, anytime in any Housewives history ever, whenever they're playing a game at any function, there's going to be drama. So this game is asking the husbands or the wives, like, what's your partner's blah, blah, blah. And it starts off easy. What's your favorite, blah, blah, blah. And then it gets into what's their least favorite person at this table. What's, and obviously it's going to create drama. So, it just starts getting juicy. And, like Kyra said, this is when we start to see, a lot of people's true colors, but specifically Todd. So one of the questions is, one of them is, what's your partner's least favorite person at this table? Or something like that. And
a lot of people said Lisa.
Yes, but Bronwyn said Meredith?
No, she said Lisa.
But, okay, so then Todd they said different people, I think.
Yeah.
So, okay, so Bronwyn said Lisa and Todd said Meredith. I thought she said Meredith
maybe
he guessed Lisa or something. I don't know, whatever.
Okay.
They said different people. And so then it's like a thing, and they're talking about it, and then they kind of start arguing, and Lisa's like, really, blah, blah. And so at some point, Angie, I'm trying to remember exactly what it said, but Angie goes. So
basically what happens, yes, is that they tension is high. And so Angie brings up, well, let's lighten the mood and let's talk about something so great. Your daughter is reconnecting with her grandparents again, and which is not a good thing. And it has not turned out well. And Todd flips a switch and is just very stern. And he's like, we're not talking about that. It's done. It's done. And Bronwyn's trying to be like, oh, well, oh yeah, and this is what he means. And this, and he's like, nope, we're done. We're done. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah. And she's trying to, Bronwyn is shutting the conversation down, but trying to do it in a polite way. And he's just talking over her and being rude and just not letting her get a word in. Okay. First of all, no one was saying anything malicious. No one was saying anything at all, to be honest.
And no one knows the situation.
Angie was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. No one else at the table was speaking a word. Except Bronwyn. She's the only one just saying oh, it's, whatever. It's, Lisa's been great, but it's just a hard position. And Lisa's literally not saying a word. She's just sitting there looking. I don't care if you don't like Lisa. She didn't say a word. She's just looking and just nodding. In Todd's confessional, he goes, oh, this is just not a good thing, blah, blah, blah. And Lisa shouldn't have brought it up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Lisa didn't say shit. She didn't bring it up. Angie brought it up.
It was just
it's
bad.
Not your, I understand that you feel protective. This is your stepchild who you say is your child, and yeah, this is your wife and you're very protective of them, but this anger was wild.
So if you guys have never watched Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, there was like a similar couple, Erica Jane and Tom Girardi, and they're now since divorced. He's been like indicted for like a huge law scandal, not paying his victims, not his victims, the victims that he has represented.
Well, they are his victims.
Well, they are his victims, I guess. Yeah. But this is like classic scenario of like what we saw of Erica and Tom, and that she was married to this older, successful man, and she was intelligent and in her like on her own. But everyone questioned their marriage, and she was like, "No, he's this. He's so like." She would just like give nothing but rave reviews about him, and then all the women like, when they would meet him, they would like feel like they're like in the presence of greatness, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, he's so sweet," blah blah blah. Meanwhile,
very charismatic.
Meanwhile, we now have found out like he was a monster, and the way he controlled her, he would take her paychecks. Like it was very much giving Tom and Erica. So,
and there were some scenes we would see. There was a particular scene that we saw of Tom and Erica, her first season, where they were at dinner, and she like kind of cut him off when he was talking. He was like, "Excuse me, Erica," as if he was like her dad. And it's just like, ugh, if my partner ever spoke to me that way, it's just like rude and condescending and ugh.
Yeah. So, and then we see a scene from this coming week's episode of Bronwyn and Todd talking, and it ain't good. And he is literally punishing her and speaking to her as if she has done some like horrible thing that can't come back from, and like judging her character, and like it is not good. And so guess what, bitch, I hope you got that $4 million necklace. I hope you got those $1 million earrings. And I hope you keep making him rack up these jewelry bills and then leave his fucking ass. And y'all don't have a prenup, so you get half of everything. I don't know how Salt Lake works, but go for it, girl. Get all your motherfucking coins for the way that this man is speaking to you.
I know. Yeah, I don't like it. That's when we saw a little clip of it last week when he was talking down to her. That was the first thing I said. I was like, I do not like how he's talking to her, and like she's below him.
And the thing that is crazier, which like is like I feel like a classic scenario, and this is why I think it is really bad, is like she has been on social media talking about how great he is, and he's just not shown in a good light. And it's just like, I feel like that's a classic scenario we always hear. Yeah. So
we're going to see this play out, but I think maybe in a couple of years, it might be similar to what, I mean, despite not like the legal stuff, hopefully, but the
treatment and finding out what really was happening behind closed doors. Yeah.
Yes.
Also, really quickly, I just want to touch upon like Mary and her son. Like, I know we've talked about it before, like how uncomfortable every scene is. I'm shocked that she's filming these, but we find we know like her son is actively in rehab. But I also just want to say like shout out to Mary, because this is like the most vulnerable we have ever seen her. This like, I think that she's choosing to do it to like help her son recognize like there is a problem. And I do know like she is very aware of what's going on, but she's trying to like graciously go about it. And it's just like, so like, okay, first of all, she walks into his room and it was like, ugh. And she was like, did you clean up in here? And he's like, yeah, an hour ago. And like the girlfriend / wife, whatever, is just like eating on the bed and like with her like rosy cheeks. Like it was all so weird. And they have like a gravity bong on the side and like a dabber, and like then they have like the vape in the hand that they're trying to hide. Like it's just all yucky.
Yeah.
Yucky. But I guess like we keep seeing this evolve, and yeah.
I think she doesn't have anything else to film. And not saying it's not important. It is important to show addiction and like what that looks like, and what it doesn't matter. You could be the richest person alive.
Yeah. Addiction doesn't have money, doesn't have a bank account. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And she doesn't address it specifically she just says, like, I think this is my fault. I gave him everything, blah, blah, blah. And I think it's very important to show. And it makes me so sad, just like from personal experience with people in my life with addiction and stuff. And it's so sad to watch. But I think it's important to show. But I also think the reason she's showing it is because she thinks it's important. But I also think she doesn't have any. I mean, what else would she show? Her husband doesn't live with her. She doesn't have anything else going on in her life that she would film. So I think it's kind of her only like thing is her like, you know, relationship with her son. And that's what's going on in her life right now. And I think it's so sad, but I'm glad to know that he's like getting help right now. And hopefully his wife is also. And yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm glad that they have her and like a safe place to live and, you know, that she is able to like, you know, love them and get them help.
Then we get the mid-season trailer. Looks great. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to the second half of Salt Lake. Mm-hmm. And then we had this.
Oh, I just have to say, Seth Marks showing Whitney proof, saying, here's your proof, biatch. I'm sorry, it was hilarious, and I love him.
I didn't think it was offensive either. Like he didn't say like you're a bitch. Like no, you're not going to talk like that. But he was like sarcastically saying like biatch. Like here you go.
And he's like, I do have proof. Like shut up. Like once again, why are you involved? First of all, we're not talking to you. Second of all, you're always insinuating someone's lying, and we don't have proof. Well, here it is. So just like shut up.
Yeah.
And her husband didn't say shit.
Yeah.
Justin didn't want to get involved in that drama. Mm-hmm. Okay, anyways, moving on.
So second part of OC reunion, we got Party Girl Lexi came out. And well, first let's just really quickly talk about Katie and Heather and how despicable Heather is. Also, because we were saying last week how there was this like incident with Katie's daughter babysitting Emily's kids, which Emily's nanny came out and addressed it and said that Heather's kids Emily's kids do know everything. They know about Heather. They're a handful in themselves. Annabelle would always like be searching her mom online. She was like, no, I know that that's real. And the fact that they just like, and the fact that Emily just sat there and let Katie's daughter take the fall for everything when she knows that that really is true. Yeah. All these receipts about it. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And Katie yet again held her ground and
very calm.
Yep. And she called Heather out. So remember we talked about Heather like going and finding out how much Jen's dress cost like a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So Heather was like explaining that story and she was like, it was not ill-intended. I was not being malicious. And Katie's like, that's being a mean girl. Like you actively walked over to the dress to look at the price tag to find out, to say something about it. So that's not having good intentions. Like you can't you can't spin that to make it look like that's good intentions. Like if you didn't care and it wasn't a big deal, then why did you go out of your way to look for it? Mm-hmm. And I love it. Katie's like, I don't give a fuck who you are, who you think you are. I'm saying what is right and what is wrong, and I don't care. Mm-hmm. Love it.
And it's just so annoying because they yell at her for, it's like they hold Katie and Jen to this like different standard, and it's not only what they do but what they're holding Katie accountable for, also for what her grown daughter is doing online and whatever. And she's like, yeah, I don't agree with what my daughter's doing posting online, and I tell her that, but what am I gonna, she's a grown adult. Mm-hmm. So how would Tamara feel if they were holding her accountable for what her son Ryan posted online, you know, when he was on the show back in the day or whatever? Mm-hmm. Like, and they're all like, oh, my kid would never do that. It's like, Tamara, your son Ryan did crazy stuff and was always like in the like blogs and stuff for like way crazier shit. Mm-hmm. And if they would have tried to hold you accountable for that, that would not have been fair. Mm-hmm. And then they're trying to hold Jen accountable for every single thing that her man is doing. But it's just like, let's say Erica Jane. We can't hold her accountable for Tom because she didn't do it. Like it's the same thing. And Emily being like, you have to do this. I gotta stand by my man, blah blah. Why wouldn't she?
My man that is innocent?
Yeah, why wouldn't
I on me and my children? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to stand by him. And
just like Alexis stands by her piece of shit man. Like, it's just exhausting to listen to them. Like, it's so hypocritical. And it's just like, what's so wrong with standing? And she's like, you always do this. And Jen was like, I don't always do anything except be loyal and stand by my, like, yeah, I'm standing by my man. That's what I always do.
And it was so funny, like all the memes online this week of like Emily as Judge Judy. they're like Heather and Emily like on this week's episode of Judge Judy, because it's like, gosh, it's like every single word, like Emily's trying to like play lawyer, and it's like, listen, you're not breaking any cases. We don't need you. Like, go away.
And you're not the host. Like,
right.
Let Andy ask the questions. And you're not the mediator. You don't need to be like, oh, and then this, and how about this? And it's like, how about you just shut up?
So then Alexis comes out, and good for Shannon. Like, I don't care how you feel. You go, Shannon. You go, Shannon Bedore. Like, I
read her for filth.
In the classiest way, didn't raise her voice, didn't lose her temper, sat there. And Alexis is like trying. And we're like, none of this is making any sense. And like, you look stupid. And then Shannon, and then she was like, Alexis, like, you took my job. And she goes, I took your job. She goes, this is my job. I've been here for 10 years. So if I took your job, I'm still sitting here and you're not. And it's like, yes, Shannon. And then Alexis is like, well, I am here. I am. They asked me back. And she was like, as a friend. And she was like, I've been on TV for 15 years. And Shannon's like, oh yeah, you're a big TV star. Like, I was like, hell fucking
and
yes.
What shows has she been on for 15 years? None. Like, I've never seen you on anything.
And like every single lie she tries, first of all, she's calling Shannon liar when they're talking about her previous lawsuit against her with her husband. And then Shannon's like, I won the case. And then Alexis, like, literally instantly is like, well, I don't know if you did. I don't know if you said that or not. And she was like, so then why are you calling me a liar? Why have you been calling me a liar for years then? If I won the case, so it proved, and everyone on the couch said that there was no defamation of character, and everyone also agreed that like Shannon literally like went through the hardest thing this season, not only having to like come with the fallout of her DUI, but then filming with her ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend who is like fucking delusional and going after her and suing her. Like, she kept her composure. And no one is giving her that credit. Well, the people that need to give her credit are not giving her credit. And it's just like, Alexis, shut up. Like, goodbye. And
Alexis is like, everyone said it's so hard for me too. It's like, first of all, no one is saying that. And second of all, it is a choice for you. Like, you chose to do this. Like, you came into the situation knowing it. Like, Shannon was already here. You came here knowing what the situation was going to be. She's like, well, you chose to stay. It's like, no one feels bad for you.
So yeah, so we got that, and I'm excited for part 3 because I feel like there's like not really anything like left like juicy to talk about. So maybe it'll just be better.
Yeah,
because they've they've hit all the big things.
I think so. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, so we'll see what part 3 brings.
New bomb will be dropped.
Maybe,
but yeah, I agree. That was it. So ready to wrap up for the week and talk about some positivity. And as we always do, we want to learn and grow every week. So what is one thing you are working on this week?
Oh, also really quickly, just a reminder that when this episode airs tomorrow, Beverly Hills will be premiering. And if you didn't see our newest reel or TikTok, make sure you go look at it because it's like one of these iconic moments in Beverly Hills history. And we had so much fun making it. It was so fun. Like, I'm very proud of us. And shout out to Samia and Joy for being involved in it and playing key roles. So thank you guys. And we just had so much fun. So we hope you guys laughed along with it.
Yes, it was very fun.
So one thing that I am working on, I am going to make my Thanksgiving menu, make like a little cute menu. Even though it's like 3 of us, you know,
cute.
Just like stuff like that.
I love that.
Yeah.
I am working on sticking to a budget, which is just kind of like preparing me for going into the new year and really
buckling down,
getting myself on track. So, yeah. What's something that you are looking forward to this week? And don't change your answer.
Being done decorating for Christmas and making Kelly watch sports.
Kyra acts like I don't watch sports, but I do. I just don't watch basketball, but we are going to a basketball game this week. So that will be fun. Yeah. So I'm going to be a basketball girl.
And we're going to vlog the entire thing too. We're going to make our first vlog so you guys can come along with us.
Yes. So stay tuned for that. That will be fun. And then what is something that made you feel like an adult?
I called Cox Cable and I am getting my bill lowered. Thank God. One of my clients like always laughs. He's like, you're single-handedly like handing out their bonuses for them every year by like, they just like keep increasing your bill and you don't say anything. Like, yep. But also the thing that really made me feel like an adult is finishing building that damn table.
Oh, nice. I need to see a picture of it.
I built my dining table and my dining table, it like, there's like it like comes up so you can have like a laptop table, you know, and then there's like storage underneath. It said it was going to take 40 minutes to assemble. It took me like the entire Monday Night Football. So I think like 3 hours. And then I had to just like walk away from it and come back the next day because I got too frustrated. And like, it wasn't hard. Like, it wasn't hard. I just wish that like directions like said like, this is the right side, this is the left side, like, and like distinguished against it, because it's like, it looks exactly the same. So like I put things upside down, I put them on the wrong side, then it wouldn't fit. And I was just like, I can't let this be smarter than me. It says 40 minutes and I'm a day in. So like, I can't. So that actually made me feel like an adult because like I did that shit.
Yes, you did. Well, I'm glad that that's over with.
Me too.
And yeah, I did see that picture. It looked good. I like those things that have the little desk that comes up. My feeling like an adult, which I also had to redo, is I installed a new filter on my shower head. So I had to get a new shower head. And so I was doing that yesterday. And it didn't work. Well, it worked, but it didn't work for me because it was like just not the right height. So then I had to take it off. And now I've gotten a new one that I have not installed yet. But I was feeling pretty handy.
We're handy girls over here. We don't need no man.
Plumber's tape, used a wrench, you know, the whole thing. So yeah, I was feeling pretty adultish. But yeah, I think that's it for the week. So hopefully you laughed along with us and hopefully you learned something. And make sure you like and leave us a review if you like what you're hearing. You follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you like to consume our content. Make sure you share us with a friend. And we will catch you next week.
Bye.